The night is quiet and the world outside your window sleeps under a blanket of stars. But inside, your mind is alive, a battlefield of thoughts, doubts, and dreams. What if, in this very moment, you could unlock the power that lies dormant within you? What if the greatest journey you could ever embark on isn't across oceans or continents, but within your own soul? What if the key to everything you've ever wanted, the life you've always imagined, is already in your hands? This is not just another self-help mantra, nor a promise of easy answers. This is about diving deep into the essence of who you are, stripping away the layers of doubt, fear, and uncertainty that have held you back. It's about discovering that the strength you seek, the courage you admire in others, the success you dream of, it's all within you, waiting to be unleashed. Tonight, we're going on a journey into the heart of belief, the core of self-mastery, the alchemy of failure, and the boundless potential that lies within every single one of us. This isn't about becoming someone new, it's about becoming who you've always been destined to be. So, take a deep breath, let go of everything you think you know, and step into the unknown with us, because what you're about to discover could change everything. Welcome to the path of self-belief, where the impossible becomes possible, and where the only limit is the one you place on yourself. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Quiet Voice Within. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast, uncharted wilderness. The horizon stretches out before you, endless and mysterious. There's a chill in the air, and the only sound is the faint rustling of the wind through the trees. You feel small, insignificant in the face of such an overwhelming expanse. But deep down, buried beneath layers of doubt, fear, and uncertainty, there is a quiet voice, a whisper, really. It's so faint that most people spend their entire lives without ever really hearing it. This is the voice of your true self, the part of you that knows who you are and what you're capable of. This voice doesn't shout, it doesn't demand your attention, it simply exists, waiting for you to listen. In ancient times, philosophers spoke of the demon, a guiding spirit that resides within each of us. Socrates, one of the greatest minds of antiquity, often referred to his demon as a voice that guided his actions, a moral compass that directed him through the maze of life's challenges. But what if this demon is more than just a figment of the philosophical imagination? What if it's a part of you, a part that has been there all along, patiently waiting for you to acknowledge it? This is where our journey begins, not with grand declarations or bold statements, but with a whisper, a subtle nudge from the deepest part of your being. This whisper is telling you to believe, not in the world, not in other people, but in yourself. Because believing in yourself is not just a platitude or a motivational slogan. It's the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. As we delve into this exploration, we'll uncover the layers of self-doubt that obscure this quiet voice. We'll examine the walls we build around our true selves, walls constructed from fear, insecurity, and the opinions of others. And we'll learn how to dismantle these walls, brick by brick, to reveal the powerful, unshakable core of who you really are. This is not a journey for the faint of heart. It requires courage, perseverance, and above all, a willingness to confront the most difficult truths about yourself. But if you're willing to take the first step, if you're willing to listen to that quiet voice within, you'll discover that the wilderness isn't as terrifying as it seems. In fact, it's a place of infinite possibilities, a place where you can finally become the person you were always meant to be. So let's begin. Let's listen to that whisper and let it guide us into the heart of the wilderness. Because the wilderness is not a place to be feared, it's a place to be explored. And within it lies the greatest discovery of all, the realization that you are more powerful, more capable, and more extraordinary than you ever imagined. Chapter 2. The Shackles of Doubt. Imagine for a moment that you're standing in a prison cell. The walls are cold and unyielding, the bars on the door thick and impenetrable. But here's the catch. There is no key, no guard, no external force keeping you here. The door isn't even locked. You're free to leave at any time, yet you remain trapped, pacing back and forth within the confines of your cell. Why? Because you believe the door is locked. This is the nature of doubt. It's not a physical barrier, but a mental one, a shackle that keeps you bound, not by reality, but by your perception of it. Doubt is insidious. It creeps into your mind, often unnoticed, and begins to weave its web, ensnaring your thoughts and distorting your perceptions. You start to question your abilities, your worth, your potential. You start to believe that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes to succeed, that you're destined to fail. And just like that, the prison door slams shut, not because it's locked, but because you believe it is. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." In other words, it's not the external circumstances of your life that cause you distress, but the way you interpret and react to them. Doubt is a prime example of this. It's not an external force, but an internal one, a product of your own thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. But where does this doubt come from? Why do we so often find ourselves trapped in this mental prison, even when the door is wide open? The roots of doubt are deep and complex. Some of them are planted in childhood, when we're told by others, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, that we're not good enough, that we'll never amount to anything, that our dreams are foolish or unrealistic. These messages, repeated often enough, become internalized. They become the voices in our heads that tell us we're not capable, that we'll never succeed, that we should just give up. Other roots of doubt are planted by society. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with images of success, images that are often unattainable, or at the very least, unrealistic. We're told that we need to look a certain way, act a certain way, achieve certain things in order to be considered successful, and when we inevitably fall short of these standards, we start to doubt ourselves. We start to believe that we're not good enough, that we don't measure up. But perhaps the deepest root of doubt lies within ourselves. It's the part of us that fears failure, that fears rejection, that fears the unknown. It's the part of us that would rather stay in the safety of the prison cell, even if it means living a life of mediocrity, rather than risk stepping out into the unknown and possibly failing. So how do we break free from the shackles of doubt? How do we unlock the prison door and step out into the wilderness of possibility? The first step is to recognize doubt for what it is, a product of your own mind, not a reflection of reality. The second step is to challenge those doubts, to question them, to ask yourself whether they're really true or whether they're just perceptions, distortions of reality. The third step is to replace those doubts with a new belief, a belief in yourself, in your abilities, in your potential. This is not an easy process. It requires courage, persistence, and a willingness to confront the deepest, darkest parts of yourself. But if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to face your doubts head on, you'll find that the prison door isn't locked after all. You'll find that you've been free all along. And once you step out of that cell, once you break free from the shackles of doubt, you'll discover a world of infinite possibilities, a world where you're not defined by your doubts but by your potential, a world where you can finally start to believe in yourself. Chapter 3. The Power of Choice. Imagine standing at a crossroads. Before you are two paths, each leading in a different direction. One path is well-worn, familiar, and comfortable. It's the path you've walked many times before, the path of least resistance. The other path is less defined, shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. It's a path that requires courage, determination, and above all, belief in yourself. This is the path of choice, and it's the path that will define your life. Choice is a fundamental aspect of human existence. Every day we're faced with countless decisions, both big and small. Some of these choices are easy, like what to have for breakfast or what to wear to work. Others are more difficult, like whether to stay in a job that doesn't fulfill you or to pursue your dreams, even if it means taking a risk. But regardless of the nature of the choice, the power always lies within you. The ancient Stoics understood the importance of choice. They believed that while we may not have control over the events of our lives, we do have control over how we respond to them. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the essence of choice, the power to choose your response, your attitude, your beliefs, even in the face of adversity. But with this power comes responsibility, because every choice you make, no matter how small, shapes your life in profound ways. Every choice you make either reinforces your belief in yourself or undermines it. Every choice you make either moves you closer to your goals or further away from them. And every choice you make either strengthens your resolve or weakens it. So, how do you make the right choices? How do you ensure that your choices align with your values, your goals, your true self? The first step is to become aware of the choices you're making. So often we go through life on autopilot, making choices without really thinking about them, without considering their impact on our lives. But when you start to pay attention to your choices, when you start to ask yourself, is this choice in line with who I am and who I want to be? You begin to take control of your life. You begin to make choices that are conscious, deliberate, and aligned with your true self. The second step is to take responsibility for your choices. It's easy to blame others or circumstances or fate for the choices we make, especially when those choices lead to negative outcomes. But when you take responsibility for your choices, when you acknowledge that you have the power to choose your response to any situation, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the architect of your own life. The third step is to trust yourself. Trust that you have the wisdom, the strength, and the courage to make the right choices. Trust that even if you make a mistake, you'll learn from it and grow stronger. Trust that you are capable of creating the life you want, one choice at a time. This is the power of choice. It's not just about making decisions. It's about making decisions that are aligned with your true self, that move you closer to your goals, that reinforce your belief in yourself. It's about taking control of your life and becoming the person you were always meant to be. So, the next time you find yourself at a crossroads, faced with a difficult decision, remember that the power is in your hands. You have the power to choose your path, to create your destiny, to believe in yourself. And when you make the right choice, when you choose to believe in yourself, you'll find that the path less traveled isn't as daunting as it seems. In fact, it's the path that leads to the greatest rewards, the path to becoming your true self. Chapter 4. The Alchemy of Failure. Failure. It's a word that strikes fear into the hearts of many, a word that conjures images of defeat, humiliation, and despair. But what if I told you that failure is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced? What if I told you that failure is not the end, but the beginning, a crucible in which your true self is forged? The ancient alchemists believed that it was possible to transform base metals into gold through a process of purification and refinement. They called this process the magnum opus, the great work. But the true goal of alchemy was not the transmutation of metals, but the transformation of the self, the purification of the soul, the refinement of character, the realization of one's true potential. In many ways, failure is like the alchemical process. It burns away the impurities of ego, pride, and complacency, leaving behind the pure, unadulterated essence of who you really are. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, your limitations, your fears. It humbles you, strips you of your illusions, and forces you to start anew. But in this process of destruction, something extraordinary happens. You begin to transform. You begin to grow stronger, wiser, more resilient. You begin to discover the depths of your own courage, determination, and potential. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." This is the alchemy of failure. It's the process by which you take the raw materials of defeat, disappointment, and setback and transform them into the gold of wisdom, strength, and resilience. But this transformation doesn't happen automatically. It requires a conscious decision to embrace failure, to see it not as a curse, but as a gift that, when properly understood and utilized, can propel you to heights you never thought possible. The first step in embracing failure is to change your perspective on it. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your inadequacy, see it as a reflection of your courage, the courage to try, to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone. Because the truth is, failure is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign that you're willing to push yourself, to challenge yourself, to strive for something greater. The second step is to learn from your failures. Every failure carries within it a lesson, a piece of wisdom that can help you grow and improve. But you have to be willing to look for it, to extract it from the rubble of defeat. This requires humility, the humility to admit that you don't know everything, that you're not perfect, that you still have much to learn. But it also requires confidence, the confidence to believe that you can learn, that you can grow, that you can overcome any obstacle. The third step is to use your failures as fuel for your journey. Failure can be a powerful motivator, a source of energy and determination that propels you forward, that drives you to keep going even in the face of adversity. But to harness this energy, you have to channel it, to focus it on your goals, your dreams, your vision for your life. This requires discipline, the discipline to stay committed, to stay focused, to keep moving forward, even when the going gets tough. This is the alchemy of failure. It's not about avoiding failure, but about embracing it, learning from it, and using it as a stepping stone to success. It's about transforming the base metal of defeat into the gold of wisdom, strength, and resilience. It's about believing in yourself, even in the face of failure, and knowing that every failure brings you one step closer to your true self. So the next time you fail, don't despair. Don't see it as a sign that you're not good enough, that you're not capable, that you should just give up. See it as an opportunity, a gift, a challenge. See it as a step on the path to greatness, a step on the path to becoming your true self. Because in the end, failure is not something to be feared. It's something to be celebrated. It's the crucible in which your true self is forged, the alchemy that transforms you into the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 5. The Art of Self-Mastery. Imagine a ship sailing on the open sea. The wind is strong, the waves are high, and the destination is far. The captain stands at the helm, steady and resolute, guiding the ship through the storm. This is the art of self-mastery, the ability to steer your own life, no matter the circumstances, no matter the challenges, no matter the obstacles. Self-mastery is the highest form of power. It's the ability to control your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your reactions. It's the ability to stay calm in the face of adversity, to stay focused in the face of distraction, to stay true to yourself in the face of temptation. It's the ability to be the captain of your own ship, the master of your own destiny. The ancient Stoics believed that self-mastery was the key to a good life. They taught that true happiness and fulfillment come not from external circumstances, but from within, from the ability to control your own mind, to govern your own actions, to live in accordance with your true self. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But self-mastery is not easy. It requires discipline, focus, and a deep understanding of yourself. It requires the ability to resist the pull of immediate gratification, to endure discomfort, to stay committed to your goals and values, even when the going gets tough. The first step in self-mastery is self-awareness. You have to know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your desires, your fears. You have to understand what drives you, what motivates you, what holds you back. This requires introspection, the ability to look within, to examine your own thoughts and feelings, to understand the patterns of your own behavior. The second step is self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses, to resist the temptation of immediate gratification, to stay focused on your long-term goals. It's the ability to say no to the things that don't serve you, to prioritize the things that do, to stay committed to your values and principles, even when it's difficult. The third step is self-control. Self-control is the ability to manage your emotions, to stay calm and composed even in the face of adversity. It's the ability to choose your response to any situation, to act according to your values, rather than reacting out of fear, anger, or frustration. It's the ability to be the master of your own mind, rather than a slave to your emotions. The fourth step is self-confidence. Self-confidence is the belief in your own abilities, the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals, of overcoming obstacles, of creating the life you want. It's the belief that you have the power to shape your own destiny, to be the master of your own fate. The fifth step is self-respect. Self-respect is the recognition of your own worth, the understanding that you deserve to be treated with dignity and respect by yourself and by others. It's the ability to set boundaries, to say no when necessary, to stand up for yourself and your values. It's the understanding that you are valuable, that your life has meaning and purpose, that you are deserving of happiness and fulfillment. This is the art of self-mastery. It's the ability to control your own mind, to govern your own actions, to live in accordance with your true self. It's the ability to be the captain of your own ship, the master of your own destiny. It's the ability to believe in yourself, to trust in your own abilities, to know that you are capable of achieving greatness. So, how do you cultivate self-mastery? How do you develop the discipline, the focus, the self-control necessary to steer your own life? The answer lies in practice. Self-mastery is not something that can be achieved overnight. It requires consistent effort day in and day out. It requires the willingness to challenge yourself, to push yourself, to step out of your comfort zone. It requires the ability to stay committed to your goals, even when it's difficult, even when you don't feel like it, even when the world seems to be against you. But the rewards of self-mastery are immeasurable. When you master yourself, you master your life. You become the captain of your own ship, the master of your own destiny. You become the person you were always meant to be. So start today. Start practicing self-mastery in every aspect of your life. Start by becoming aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. Start by setting goals and staying committed to them. Start by resisting the pull of immediate gratification, by choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. Start by believing in yourself, by trusting in your own abilities, by knowing that you are capable of achieving greatness. And as you practice, as you cultivate self-mastery, you'll find that the storms of life don't seem so daunting anymore. You'll find that you have the power to steer your own ship, no matter the circumstances, no matter the challenges, no matter the obstacles. You'll find that you are the master of your own destiny, the captain of your own soul. Chapter 6. The courage to be you. Imagine standing on a stage in front of an audience of thousands. The spotlight is on you and all eyes are watching. But instead of feeling fear, instead of feeling self-conscious or anxious, you feel calm, confident, and powerful. Because in this moment, you are completely and unapologetically yourself. This is the courage to be you, the courage to embrace your true self, to live authentically, to stand tall in your own skin, no matter what the world may think. In a world that constantly pressures us to conform, to fit in, to be like everyone else, the courage to be yourself is one of the most powerful and liberating things you can possess. It's the courage to reject the expectations of others, to follow your own path, to live according to your own values and beliefs. It's the courage to be different, to stand out, to be true to yourself, even when it's difficult, even when it's unpopular. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once said, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are." This is the tragedy of living inauthentically, of hiding your true self, of suppressing your true desires, of living a life that is not your own. It's a life of quiet desperation, a life of regret, a life that is never fully lived. But the courage to be yourself is not easy. It requires facing your fears, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of failure. It requires letting go of the need for approval, the need for validation, the need to be liked by everyone. It requires trusting yourself, believing in yourself, knowing that who you are is enough, that you don't need to be anyone else, that you are worthy just as you are. The first step in embracing the courage to be yourself is self-acceptance. You have to accept yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your quirks, your flaws. You have to accept that you are not perfect, that you don't have to be perfect, that you are human, and that being human is enough. This requires compassion, the ability to be kind to yourself, to forgive yourself, to love yourself, even when you make mistakes, even when you fall short. The second step is self-expression. Self-expression is the ability to show the world who you really are, to share your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, your creativity. It's the ability to speak your truth, to stand up for what you believe in, to live in alignment with your values. It's the ability to be vulnerable, to let others see the real you, to connect with others on a deep and meaningful level. The third step is self-empowerment. Self-empowerment is the belief that you have the right to live your life according to your own terms, that you have the power to make your own choices, that you are in control of your own destiny. It's the belief that you don't need anyone else's approval or permission to be yourself, that you are enough, just as you are. The fourth step is self-confidence. Self-confidence is the belief in your own worth, in your own abilities, in your own value. It's the belief that you have something to offer the world, that you are capable of achieving your goals, that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. It's the belief that you are not defined by the opinions of others, that you are not limited by your past, that you are capable of creating the life you want. The fifth step is self-love. Self-love is the foundation of the courage to be yourself. It's the ability to love yourself unconditionally, to accept yourself fully, to believe in yourself completely. It's the ability to treat yourself with kindness, respect, and compassion, to nurture your own needs, to take care of your own well-being. It's the ability to see your own worth, to value yourself, to believe that you deserve to be happy, fulfilled, and loved. This is the courage to be you. It's the courage to embrace your true self, to live authentically, to stand tall in your own skin no matter what the world may think. It's the courage to reject the expectations of others, to follow your own path, to live according to your own values and beliefs. It's the courage to be different, to stand out, to be true to yourself even when it's difficult, even when it's unpopular. So how do you cultivate the courage to be yourself? How do you develop the strength, the confidence, the belief in yourself necessary to live authentically? The answer lies in practice. The courage to be yourself is not something that comes naturally to most people. It requires consistent effort, day in and day out. It requires the willingness to challenge yourself, to push yourself, to step out of your comfort zone. It requires the ability to stay true to yourself, even when it's difficult, even when the world seems to be against you. But the rewards of living authentically are immeasurable. When you have the courage to be yourself, you experience a sense of freedom, a sense of peace, a sense of fulfillment that can only come from living in alignment with your true self. You no longer feel the need to seek approval from others, to conform to the expectations of society, to be anything other than who you truly are. You become the person you were always meant to be. So start today. Start practicing the courage to be yourself in every aspect of your life. Start by accepting yourself, by expressing yourself, by empowering yourself, by believing in yourself. Start by loving yourself, by valuing yourself, by treating yourself with kindness, respect, and compassion. Start by believing that who you are is enough, that you don't need to be anyone else, that you are worthy, just as you are. And as you practice, as you cultivate the courage to be yourself, you'll find that the spotlight no longer feels intimidating. You'll find that you have the power to stand tall in your own skin, no matter what the world may think. You'll find that you are capable of living authentically, of being true to yourself, of creating the life you want. Because in the end, the greatest act of courage is not in facing the world, but in facing yourself. It's in embracing who you are, in living authentically, in believing in yourself no matter what. It's in having the courage to be you. Chapter 7. The Infinite Potential Within. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a vast open field. The sun is shining, the sky is clear, and the horizon stretches out before you, endless and full of possibility. This is the field of your potential, an infinite expanse of opportunity, creativity, and growth, waiting to be explored, waiting to be realized. The concept of potential is one of the most powerful and profound ideas in human existence. It's the idea that within each of us lies a wellspring of untapped abilities, talents, and possibilities. It's the idea that we are not limited by our current circumstances, but that we have the capacity to grow, to evolve, to become something greater than we are today. The philosopher Aristotle spoke of entelechai, the realization of potential. He believed that everything in nature has an inherent purpose, a drive to fulfill its potential, to become what it is meant to be. Just as an acorn has the potential to become a mighty oak tree, so too do you have the potential to become the fullest expression of yourself. But realizing your potential is not a passive process. It requires action, effort, and a deep belief in yourself. It requires the willingness to explore the unknown, to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone. It requires the courage to dream big, to set ambitious goals, to push the boundaries of what you believe is possible. The first step in realizing your potential is to believe in it. You have to believe that you are capable of more, that you have the ability to grow, to learn, to evolve. You have to believe that your current circumstances do not define you, that you are not limited by your past, that your potential is infinite. The second step is to discover your potential. This requires exploration, the willingness to try new things, to take on new challenges, to step out of your comfort zone. It requires curiosity, the desire to learn, to grow, to expand your horizons. It requires the ability to see yourself not as you are, but as you could be, to imagine the possibilities, to envision the future. The third step is to develop your potential. This requires effort, the willingness to work hard, to practice, to hone your skills, to refine your abilities. It requires perseverance, the ability to keep going, even when the going gets tough, even when you encounter setbacks and obstacles. It requires commitment, the determination to stay focused on your goals, to keep moving forward, no matter what. The fourth step is to unleash your potential. This requires courage, the willingness to take risks, to put yourself out there, to share your gifts with the world. It requires confidence, the belief in your own abilities, the belief that you have something valuable to offer, the belief that you are capable of achieving greatness. It requires action, the willingness to take the first step, to start the journey, to begin the process of realizing your dreams. The fifth step is to live your potential. This is the ultimate goal, to live a life that is true to your potential, a life that is full of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. It's the ability to wake up each day with a sense of excitement, a sense of possibility, a sense of purpose. It's the ability to look back on your life and know that you lived it to the fullest, that you realized your potential, that you became the person you were always meant to be. This is the infinite potential within you. It's the wellspring of creativity, growth, and possibility that lies within each of us, waiting to be discovered, waiting to be realized. It's the belief that you are capable of more, that you have the ability to grow, to evolve, to become something greater than you are today. So how do you tap into this potential? How do you begin the process of realizing your potential, of becoming the fullest expression of yourself? The answer lies in action. Potential is not something that can be realized through thought alone. It requires action, effort, and a deep belief in yourself. It requires the willingness to explore the unknown, to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone. It requires the courage to dream big, to set ambitious goals, to push the boundaries of what you believe is possible. But the rewards of realizing your potential are immeasurable. When you tap into your potential, you tap into the wellspring of creativity, growth, and possibility that lies within you. You begin to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. You begin to see yourself not as you are, but as you could be. You begin to realize that your potential is infinite, that you are capable of achieving greatness, that you are the creator of your own destiny. So start today. Start by believing in your potential, by exploring your potential, by developing your potential. Start by taking action, by setting goals, by pushing yourself to grow, to learn, to evolve. Start by unleashing your potential, by sharing your gifts with the world, by living your life to the fullest. And as you do, you'll find that the field of your potential is not a distant dream, but a reality waiting to be realized. You'll find that you are not limited by your current circumstances, but that you have the capacity to grow, to evolve, to become something greater than you are today. You'll find that your potential is infinite, that you are capable of achieving greatness, that you are the creator of your own destiny. Because in the end, the greatest adventure in life is not in discovering the world, but in discovering yourself. It's in realizing your potential, in becoming the fullest expression of yourself, in living the life you were always meant to live. It's in embracing the infinite potential within you.